All right, it says that we are live, so I'm going to wait for some people to come in. Hopefully people show up. I'm sure there'll be people that show up. But people that are hopping on, hello, I am Daniela. This is my YouTube channel, The Chronicles of a Reseller. So I am a part-time reseller. I sell on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, TradeD. I do a little bit of everything. This is my resale hangout that I've been doing on Wednesdays. My full-time job is a state worker. So yeah, I can't really create content right now. It's a little hectic. And so today's guest is Nicki. Nicki is Glow Girl Glow on Instagram. Nicki and I met through Leslie's Instagram group, and we've connected and we talk all the time. And Nicki herself is also an essential worker. So we have something in common when it comes to that. She's a part-time reseller. She is trying to pay off her debts, save money. So again, another thing that we have in common, Nicki. And she is also homeschooling her children right now. Mostly your son, right? Your daughter is pretty self-sufficient with that.
Years, so she has it down pat.
Yeah. So, Nicki, why don't you introduce yourself to people and they can kind of get to know you, your story, how you got into reselling, just like a little backstory on you.
Okay, my name is Nicki. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 35 years old. I have two kids. I have a 17-year-old and a 5-year-old. I'm a full-time mail carrier at the United States Postal Services. Then I also resell online part-time on Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, and just recently Depop. I've
Oh,
been
really?
resell. Yeah, I just made my first sale maybe like a couple of days ago. So
Oh, we're
I
going to have to
guess
talk about that because I know nothing about Depop.
Yep. So I've been reselling since January of this year, so I'm still kind of new to it. I started reselling in January to help pay off of debt. I'm in a little over $50,000 worth of debt, so I kind of created a little plan of me trying to become debt free within 5 years. So with the help of reselling along with my full time income, the way that I have it set up, I should be debt free within 5 years. So that's like my little
That's
spiel.
awesome. That's really
Yep.
great. So for those of you who don't follow Nicki, she is Glow, Glo, says it right there, Girl Glow on Instagram. And she does go live on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Instagram, where she goes over her budgeting and how she goes through it. So are you following Dave Ramsey's process?
Not in the beginning, I was,
Mhm.
but when the pandemic hit, I kind of stopped doing it his particular way. I just use his plan as like a blueprint because I
Yeah,
just feel like I know he says $1,000 in your emergency fund just to start off and then start paying off debt. But me personally, with this pandemic that just happened, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with just a thousand
right.
dollars in my savings. And then what if I would have lost my job? I wouldn't be able to survive off $1,000, like not even possibly
Right.
a month. So I just feel like 3 to 6 months expenses would be more beneficial for me. So I've been trying to rack up savings along with paying off whatever I can along the way.
Yeah, I totally get that because I'm kind of in the same boat where I kind of like his processes, but at the same time, it's difficult to follow. There's just like right now we're doing the same boat. We're saving, but we're also trying to pay things off, and some of his methods just make it difficult to do both of those things because he wants you to pay everything off before you save. So, but yeah, so Nicki and I both use reselling for the same purpose, which is really nice. So Nicki and I relate on a lot of different things, and being an essential worker, I mean, you get it. It's tough. It is tough right now. So Nicki's a postal worker. So if you guys have any questions for Nicki too, related to shipping or anything like that, Nicki will try to explain the best way that she can. We have some people coming in. Hi, everyone. Hello. We have Leslie here. I don't know who this is. Dresden Avenue. Who, can you tell me what your name is?
That's
So I can say
Margaret,
hello.
Daniela.
Oh, it's Margaret. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, I didn't even realize it. Sorry, Margaret. I was like, who is that? Sorry. I got home from work about a half hour ago. So little out of it. Don't mind the crazy cat in the background. This is like insane at all times. Anyway, so Nicki, I'm sure we'll share some similar experiences, but how has the pandemic affected in terms of work? Now, I know you're not working right now because you're homeschooling. So when the pandemic first hit and it came to balancing reselling and work, how was that? Never mind everything else that's going on with the post office, because as we all know, there's a lot of political stuff going on with that. I don't want to get into, the minutia of all that kind of stuff. But how did it affect you mentally? And how did it affect you being able to run your business?
Well, first off, when the pandemic first hit, that's when I actually kind of realized that I need to just like take some time and just focus on like really what's going on around me and
Mm-hmm.
just some mental health issues. Because a lot of things were said around the post office where they were shutting down and just different
Yeah.
rumors. And being that I'm still kind of new to the post office, I've only been there about 4 years, almost 5 years. I still don't know, like I never experienced anything like this before. So when people are saying, oh, the post office is gonna shut down and they're gonna close
Yeah.
on this day, that kind of it scared me a little bit, but I'm just like, I just believe in God and things like that. And I
Yep.
just know everything's gonna work out, in a positive way. But for as my business wise, I actually seen like maybe some increase in sales, to be honest, because a lot of stores here were closing down and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were shopping online. And I don't know if you were following me back then, but I was telling people, because I was making
Mm-hmm.
majority of my sales on Macari, compared to Poshmark. And I was selling like little, bread and butter brands, and
Yep.
people were looking for those items. So I seen like an increase in my business when the pandemic first hit, because I guess people were afraid that they would not be able to get clothing from the stores or something like that. I don't know, but that was like my best time.
Yeah, I have to say, when the pandemic first hit, besides it blowing up in my face working for the state, it was so like the first couple of weeks, it didn't affect us as much. Like when it first started to like really trickle in, so like the end of February, right, is when it really like we started seeing it, and then the first 2 weeks of March hit, and it was just like a bomb went off at work. It was nonstop. I mean, working around the clock. There was no days off for like a good 60 days. We still don't have time off. I mean, we're taking more here and there, but it's just, I didn't know what to do. I knew I had job security because of where I work. So I work in unemployment, I work in temporary disability. So I had job security, but I didn't know what to do with reselling. And I found myself sitting down and saying, okay, well, I can't source. How can I make this work? How can I create income for myself so that I'm still able to hit my goals and save money and all that kind of stuff? And it probably took me until April, May to really like find my groove, and understand how to kind of work the reselling system during a pandemic where I don't have any resources around me, right? The only resource I had was the internet to get things. So that's when I started getting things back from the Real, and I was sourcing online. I got really good at sourcing online, and now I do it all the time. I was getting donations from next door and all that kind of stuff. So I have to say, a lot of people were saying that their sales weren't great during that time period from like March to like July-ish. Those were some of my best months that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know I'm not alone in that because I know you experienced it too. Now, could it have been because of the stimulus that was out there? Yeah, like that's possible. People were spending, they were home, that kind of stuff. But I really I didn't experience a summer slowdown last year, but I wasn't as serious. And this year I also didn't experience a summer slowdown. So I don't know, like, do I follow different things in the community that people say? Yes, but I also take it with a grain of salt because I think it translates differently for each person. There's some people coming into the chat, so I want to make sure I acknowledge everyone. So we have Wendy, who's here, who's also a postal worker. Hello, Wendy. Hello, hello. We also have another Wendy here. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Sarah is here. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for listening. So you guys should go and watch Sarah Styles LLC's YouTube channel as well. She's awesome, talks data, analytics. You'll love it. She also talks other things as well, like what sold, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it is an extremely difficult time for essential workers. And I think certain essential workers get talked about more than other essential workers. The healthcare workers who are obviously doing an amazing job. policemen, firemen, everyone that's involved, right, in the medical field, doing amazing in the public service realm. I feel like postal workers did get some recognition, but I can tell you that state workers do not get the recognition because we usually get blamed for everything, and that's fine. It just kind of comes with the nature of the job. People want their money, and we do the best that we can with the resources that we have. So people kind of forget about us city and state workers that we're out there too. Or even, so funny enough, there was a gentleman who came in to fix a copier fax machine today, and he's been working the entire time, and it didn't even dawn on me they're essential as well, because businesses that are open need them to come in if the machine's not working. Like, I've called at least 4 or 5 technicians out since March because our machines are just nonstop going. And I didn't even think about them. They're essential too. Yep. So many essential people. Oh, Lisette is here. Hello. Lisette, thank you. Yes, hit the thumbs up. I'm a newbie to YouTube, so like, any interaction is great. Wendy is saying August is really a good money month for her too. Yeah. So my August has been average. My July was like triple what I normally make. So that was interesting to me. How was your July, Nicki?
Oh, I don't know, because this is my first July. So
this is true.
So I feel like, because right now I'm doing like a little challenge, a 0 to 1,000, and what that basically is just showing people that you can make $1,000 within 90 days to start your starter emergency fund. And so far I've been on a good track for it. So I'm
good.
Almost, well, I have made my goal. Matter of fact, I did make my goal in August. Matter of fact, so 2 months it took me to make $1,000. So
that's fantastic.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So I've been noticing like more and more posts, and I don't know if you have too, on like my Facebook page, my personal stuff, my personal Instagram page and stuff, of people that I know that are starting to sell their things too. And they've been posting like, oh, I made an extra $4,000 in a year or whatever. And I feel like more and more people are going to this reselling trend just to make extra money, because a lot of people are in the situation where they need it. Either they're on unemployment or they don't have a job to go back to, or their job's not opening up anytime soon. And even in your situation, I mean, you are not working right now. You are collecting something, but it's not your full pay. So have you thought about that whole process? I'm assuming you have, and what you want to do to kind of supplement that?
Yeah, I really feel like I just need to restructure my business plan or whatever, because right now I'm only receiving 2/3 of my pay from the post office, and I do have some savings, but my plan is to not to be able to use my savings. I really don't want to dip into my savings if possible. So I'm just trying to restructure like my profit margin and try to get that higher profit margin so that I can make that the income that I'm losing, I can make in reselling. So right now I'm not paying off any debt with the reselling. I've put that on pause, and I've just been using it to supplement the income that I'm losing.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are in that same kind of boat that are homeschooling. So how is that going? So how are you balancing the homeschooling, sourcing, reselling, listing, all that kind of stuff? And I'm going to talk in terms of being a full-time essential worker and what that means for me. And Nicki's going to talk in terms of being a homeschool mom now and what that means.
So for me, for my daughter, I pretty much don't have to worry about her. It's the 5-year-old. It's his first year of school, and to be sitting in front of a computer. Now his hours are 8:15 to 3:15.
He's doing a full day.
Yes. So with the hour and a half for lunch. So from 11 to 12:30 is the lunch. But during that time, they don't want them to do any type of screen activity. So we have to get out and do some things like that. So that's the time, if I, need to source, I will, because it's a thrift store right by my house. So I can go to, shopping right down there, or I'll take him out for lunch, or we'll, do the little general errands like haircuts. Like today I took him to get a haircut and, things of that sort. But it's been really hard, because I thought that being home that I would be able to get more done with the reselling part, because he would be online. But when I'm around and he's on the computer, he wants to talk to me and show me everything that he's doing on the computer. Then he gets upset when sometimes the computer is not acting right. And it's just, I just try to just be there just to support him and let him know it's nothing that you're doing it's the computer, it's the
Yeah.
internet, it's, acting weird. But I'm just trying to just be there to support him, because I feel like he needs all of the support that he can really get. Because really, I just feel like I'm just really his only support system. He stays with me full time, so I need to be there, and I need to see exactly what's going on with the teachers and the school and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's the reason actually why I took the time off. I could have easily paid for someone else to
Right.
do it, but me personally, I just feel like I didn't do that. I didn't have the opportunity to do that with my daughter. I missed out on a whole lot of stuff with her
Yeah.
because I was a teenage mom.
Yep.
That I'm not doing that this time with my son.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're doing a great job, Nicki. So if
Thank
no
you.
one's told you that, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
It's very difficult right now for any parent who works a full-time job, and you have to make the decision, if your child is going to distance learn. I think the majority of parents are going towards distance learning just because of, we don't know, right? Everyone wants to be as safe as possible, and there's some parents that just can't, and their children either have to go to a hybrid type plan, or they're relying on family members to do the best that they can, grandparents, whatever it is. But when it comes to elementary school age children, um, it's it's true, you need to be there as the support, because they're used to having a teacher or an aide there present at all times that they can kind of go to, who's almost like mom or dad, and be that support and be there for them, explain different things and let them know, okay, I know this is frustrating, this is how we're going to do it. They have those different breaks where they can talk to an adult almost like a parent, and get that love and care that they need. So I think it's wonderful that you're doing what you're doing. And I think if I was a parent right now, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd probably, if I would have the option right now to work from home and homeschool, and if I didn't have that option, like if I was still in the teaching field, and I've talked to my husband about this too, if I was still in the teaching field, I'd probably be taking a sabbatical right now and not going back, only because I help take care of my grandmother. She's immunocompromised. I'm immunocompromised now with my lung stuff that I have going on, so I can't risk it. I can't risk bringing it to either my immediate family or to my in-laws, for that matter, who are also older. So there's just so many factors, and I think there's no right or wrong. I know there's always these big debates online about, yes, kids should go back. Yes, for social and emotional purposes, I think it's important for children to be in school, but I also think there's a health component to it that there's just so much unknown right now, and everyone's just doing the best that they can, right? Let's go here to some comments before we keep going. Big sale on my palette. Sorry, Sarah is having a sale on her palette. It's going to be an auction style Saturday on YouTube, I believe. So set a reminder for that, guys. She just got a big palette in, and she's trying to move through that inventory. So Sarah's talking about a lot of resellers coming in and just kind of selling off stuff. It is going to drive the comps down. This is true. This is why when I talk to people, I say, like, take the comps with a grain of salt, because sometimes it is people just selling their stuff. So you might see that an item sold for $15, and then you'll see the same exact item that sold for like $90, $95, right? And there'll be this big discrepancy, and you're like, where do I even price this? Just do your research. Just do your research. There's a mix of everything out there. There is a mix. Nicki, how do you handle that stuff? Because you're fairly new to reselling. So how do you handle it? Do you look up comps? What do you do? And what type of items do you typically source?
Well, I get stuff that I like. I'm just gonna be honest. I get stuff that I like. I also listen to what's going on in the community. A lot of times, a lot of people put out like Bolo brands and things of that sort, and I will pick those items up. But for me, I feel like maybe I'm just picking up the wrong style or whatever. But those items do not sell for me. Well, I'm not gonna say it doesn't sell. It takes longer to sell for me.
Yes.
I guess because I am looking for more of a higher profit margin. But the items that I can pick up, like American Eagle, those will go really quick in my closet, and I see a lot of that all the time. So I guess I would say I really probably don't check the comps, but the items that I know have really sold and sold quickly for me, I normally typically pick those items up again.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a good mix in the closet. So, like, do I focus on a higher average sale price? Yes. It's taking me over a year to get there, though. Like, it didn't happen overnight. When I first started, I was just selling things out of my closet, and then I started going to the bins, and then I just like I didn't care what I got. I do think it's good to have a mix. I think it's great to have American Eagle and those more mall brands. People will bundle and they'll buy them all. And if that's part of your business model, I think that's great. I have a harder time selling the bread and butter pieces like H&M and all that kind of stuff, unless it's on eBay. On eBay, it typically does better for me, but on Poshmark, I can't move it. All of my higher end stuff sells. So, I mean, every seller is totally different. However, I will say for me, sourcing right now is really hard because the prices in thrift stores are so high that I can't even grab some of the stuff I used to grab. So I'm like all over the place now when it comes to picking things up. Are the thrift store prices high where you are?
Doesn't seem like it for me, but I
Oh, that's
always
good.
just stop on. I always shop at this local thrift store that I normally always go
Oh,
to, and
good.
then they have like the little color days with half off, and then on the last Wednesday of every month they have half off as well.
Oh, nice.
So I typically just go to the thrift stores if I go around those particular sale days. I never really pay full price of for anything, and then I also went to the bins with a friend 2 times. So I really try to keep my cost of goods
Yeah.
literally low.
Yeah, I try so hard, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's difficult where I am. Being in New England, it is
Mhm.
extremely difficult to keep the cost of goods down, especially with the way prices have skyrocketed here. But I will say the Salvation Army has been my go-to spot just because they have half off all week long on 2 tags. Then 1 tag is 99 cents, and then they'll have the incoming tag, which is regular price, and then whatever the incoming tag was the previous week is also regular price. So there's 3 tag colors that are on sale. So, it takes a little bit of digging and looking through, but I've found some stuff that's 99 cents. That means it's sat there for 3 weeks and no one's picked it up. And sometimes it's really great stuff. So I definitely have been leaning more towards the Salvation Army sourcing than Savers, just because Savers prices have been way too high. Way too high for me. And it's really cutting into my margins. It's cutting into my margins like crazy, and I can't do it anymore. Like, it's just, I'd rather online source at that point or go to the retail store and pick up new tag stuff. Like, that's how much I'm spending, and that's not worth it to me. Not at all. So Margaret is saying, Nicki, you are superwoman. I'm so scared for when remote learning starts. What advice would you give to people that are resellers and that are gonna be homeschooling?
Patience, because it's been crazy with my son, because I can't show him that I'm scared for him, because I'm his like support system. So I feel like I have to be the strong one and let him know that he got this. Like, it's nothing that you're doing. We're all new to this. Even I make some mistakes. Even today he showed me how to turn the volume up on the on the laptop. It may sound funny, but the laptop is it's not like a regular laptop. It's like made perfectly for him. And I couldn't hear anything, and he was showing me how to turn the volume up. So I thought that was really cool, because I was worried that he wouldn't know how to use the laptop. And
meanwhile, he's teaching you. Isn't that funny how kids can adapt so quickly to technology? It's fascinating how quick they adapt to it.
Right. So I would just say patience, and just stick it out, stay in there.
Yeah, they need us more than anything. And reselling's not going anywhere. So even if you have to take a break from it or not do your normal routine for a month, then that's what it has to be until you figure out what your routine's going to be. And maybe your routine is you focus on reselling just 1 day a week, and it's the weekend. And during the week, it might just be little basic things like inventory, like maybe it's more back office type stuff. I try to look at the positive. I try to be optimistic about situations. And even like with COVID, I've tried to be optimistic the entire time. Like, COVID's actually brought a lot of good things to people. It's brought families closer together. It's really helped people just be more united in all different types of fronts. People that don't have families are, friendlier with neighbors, and there's just a big sense of community. And there's other things going on in the world that do not bring community together. But regardless, I think that parents being home with their kids almost adds a different perspective to the children, and it teaches them different things, and it's teaching them responsibility and learning a lot sooner than maybe when they wouldn't have learned that until middle school or high school. And now they're learning this independence and how to be proactive on their own way sooner. Oh, sorry, guys. That was really bright. I went to go turn my light on, and it was just way too bright. So I think, it's important to look at those positive aspects of everything. Sarah is saying, damn, that's intense for his age. Yeah, so her kindergartner is less than that. Only 2 Zoom. Oh, really? 2 Zooms a day, then activities? That's interesting. So here, I know in my district that I live in, elementary school kids, it's staggered, but they're going in. So let's say they start at 8, they go until 12, and it's full learning for half a day. Then they'll have like from 12 to 2 to work on like homework or whatever it is. And then they're done for the rest of the day. But the teacher's always online. It's essentially like a Zoom. They're always online all day long. So during that time where kids are not in the classroom, the kids can go in and talk to the teacher, especially if the elementary school kids, they're able to just go in and say hi to the teacher. And because kids love that. They love talking to their teacher. They thrive on that. They want to make themselves known to the teacher, right? Kids love that, especially elementary school kids. Middle school, high school, different story, but elementary school kids love that aspect of it. And even the high schools here, the teachers are always in Zoom all day long. I think it's until 4:30. They go in at 7. They still stay until 4:30, and the kids can go and ask questions about homework and get extra help and stuff. So I think every district does it differently. So it's interesting to see what other places are doing in the country. Now,
I actually thought that it was gonna be like maybe some live lessons, a few days a week, and then maybe some video lessons, because that would have probably worked in the favor of me going back to work. But his class is literally live lessons every single day, Monday through Thursday, except for Monday, his PE class, because he still has a PE class.
That's great though. You know what though? It's good. It's routine and schedule, just like so when they do transition to go back to school, it's not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like a culture shock to him, right? Where he's going back to school and he's like, whoa, what is this? That I have to go back full time all day? This is not what I'm used to. So I think districts that are trying to make it more normal is gonna benefit the child later on.
That's exactly what they plan was. They didn't want to. The only thing that changed is that it's virtual. Everything else is still the same plan, how it would be if he was to be in class.
That's wonderful. So, I think it's great when districts are able to do that. And I think if the resources are available to them and they've received the funding and they're able to do it, why not? If distance is working, then you keep at it. And then until things seem safer, my cats are fighting. So if you hear hissing, it's just what's happening. Wendy here said, I'm going to focus on just getting jeans from now on Poshmark because I'm concentrating more on Etsy. I think that's a great plan. So Wendy makes really beautiful pieces, whether it's tie-dye or embroidery, and she sews and she makes wonderful handmade pieces. So I think you found your groove in that, Wendy, which is really nice. When we find like that niche that really works for us. Like for me, it's definitely shoes, jeans, and handbags are like the 3 things that I know I can pick up and I know I can sell really fast and I can sell it well. Like I love cleaning shoes. I love it. Give me a pair of beat up shoes and I will make them look
shoes, Daniela. You really do. Like even the shoes you posted today that you had on. I don't know if that was today or yesterday. Those are nice. Like,
so
oh my God.
I got those at Nordstrom Rack when they were having their 50% off sale. I got them for $5. $5. Yeah, my splurge on myself for something brand new was $5. So, the opportunity presented itself, and I bought them. I also bought another pair. There's still the Franco Sarto. Those are Franco Sarto, and I bought another Franco Sarto brand, and they're like black, and they have like scalloped edges, and they're leather, and they're really pretty. But they're same kind of style where it's like a slip-on. I don't wear heels. Like I've never worn heels. And so like those are easy slip-on chunky heel shoe where I can even throw off in the middle of the day and put my flip-flops on because that's what I do at work. I walk in looking really cute and then I leave looking like a hot mess is what happens. But it's fine. Yes, jeans sell well for me too, Wendy. I think people that haven't tapped into looking at jeans and learning different jean brands, there is a huge market for jeans. There's a huge market for shoes too. I don't think people realize how many individuals online buy used shoes. Like there is a huge market for. There are people that only sell shoes on reselling platforms, and that's how they make their 6 figures. So shoes have a very high average selling price if you can get them at a very low cost. which I think is important overall in reselling. Lower cost, higher average sale price, you know. What else do we have here? Everyone's saying hello to each other. Hello, hello, hello. I'm the exact opposite, clueless when it comes to shoes and handbags, and I have a huge denim death pot. I love selling tops and dresses. Okay, so I can't relate. I hate selling tops and dresses. I hate it. I still pick them up. I don't know why, because I think I'm like, oh, but this is cute. Like, I like selling sweaters. I shouldn't say I don't like selling any tops. I do like selling sweaters and cardigans. Those are like my two top things. What are some things you like to sell, Nikki?
Tops and jeans. Like, I like everything
You
that
really?
I wear. I like
Yeah.
shoes too, but for some reason I just can't give up those shoes. I'm just stuck on.
I know. There's just something about, even when it comes to thrifting and going to the bins and finding shoes, there is something about picking up a beat up pair of shoes, using a little elbow grease, taking the extra 5-10 minutes to clean them up because they come out looking really great, and then you can just make such a profit on them.
Right. Now, if they're not my size, of course I will pick them up and sell those. But the ones that I seem like I always come across, be my size, and I want to keep.
Isn't that how it always works?
I want to keep them, and
I know.
it's just hard for me to give them up. But jeans, definitely, I like to sell. Shorts. I like graphic tees, so t-shirts, those are fine. But sweaters and dresses, I'm just finding it hard to photograph for me. So those are like the hardest ones that, even though I still have some, they are hard for me to photograph to sell.
Yeah. I don't really sell summer stuff. I'm an oddball. I don't like summer. I don't like the heat. I don't do well in the heat. I don't like the humidity. It is super humid here. It's humid where you are too. So you know, Nikki, it's gross. I like selling fall and winter stuff. So when it comes to this time of year and I can pick up as many boots as I want and sweaters and they're going to move, like, I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. And those items typically bring a higher cost of goods. I mean, a higher average sale price. So I'm all about that.
Right. I'm thinking about maybe just, I guess, modeling those items. I don't know, because I can't find it. Doesn't look. Yeah, it doesn't look cute on when I try to do a flat lay. It just, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It just doesn't look right.
You're not doing anything wrong. I don't do flat lays.
Okay.
I don't do them. I don't have time. I don't care. I hang it on my wall over there, and it is what I edit the photo so that it has a white background, and that's it. Like, I don't do anything fancy. Pro tip for anyone who doesn't know this, and this is just from my marketing background that I have, Google typically likes white backgrounds. So yes. So the reason why that is because if you're using the correct keywords, the right SEO, search engine optimization, right, Google's going to pick that up easier than something that has a ton of items in it, because it's not going to really know what it's looking for, right? Because everything's virtual. Everything is some type of bot, right, that's grabbing all this information. So if they like clear, crisp, white backgrounds, it doesn't mean that you can't use a black background, because you can, as long as it's something that is clear and concise and you can see the item clearly. Google likes white backgrounds. Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of people, a lot of larger resellers, they're just hanging things up in a white background. It's because eBay likes that better. Sometimes stock photos don't pull on Google and on eBay and Mercari. Like, they don't pull that stuff. They typically pull the stuff that they can clearly see better. So fun tip. Pro tip, guys.
I'm definitely going to try that out, because I've noticed when I list on eBay, they try to add the white background, but for some reason the backdrop is still kind of in the picture, so I never really go with the photo. But I'm gonna give that some
and there's apps that you can use. So like, I use Snapseed, and all you do when you go into Snapseed, it's a free app for anyone who doesn't have it. This Pick Tap Go, I've never used it, so I don't know how it works. But basically, you just click on it, you select a photo. I need to do it so I can actually tell you what it is. You go into Tools, and then there's this little circle that says Selective, and I click on that, and what it does is it brightens up the entire photo. The only time that it becomes a problem is if your item is a lighter shade, like a cream or a neutral, or the lighting from the sun or your ring light was a little off. it will brighten the image, like the actual item itself, too much. So I try to brighten around it as much as I can. There's also another feature called healing, where it will essentially wipe out any of the background that's not white, or if you find a stock photo and it's got the arrows on the side, you can get those out of there. So there's YouTube videos on this kind of stuff too. You can type in like tutorials on Snapseed or PicTapGo and all that stuff, and you'll be able to find
PicTapGo. That's what
yeah.
I use.
Yeah, so there's lots of, like, I use Lightroom for the most part because I have different presets that I purchased that just make editing easier for me. I literally just click a button and it just does that. But that's not for everyone. I enjoy Lightroom. I use it for a lot of different things when it comes to pictures. So for me, it made sense to buy the presets, but that's an extra expense that you don't necessarily have to pick up. It's not necessary. There's a lot of free options out there. And I didn't like jump in and buy a ring light right away. Like, this is all stuff that I got later on. A ring light's essential. In New England it is, because it gets dark really fast in the fall and the lighting is not great unless I'm here during the day, and I'm working. So I had to buy a ring light, but I found it on Walmart. I think I paid $30 for it. It came it didn't come with the stand. I had to buy the stand separately, but I think the stand was like $10, but it wasn't anything crazy. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just talking because that's what I like to do. Okay, Michelle, I don't do flat lays either. Yeah, I think certain people, like, they have a great aesthetic and it just looks great. I do lay my shoes on a cardboard, poster board that has granite. That it's just an adhesive granite thing that I bought, so you can get it at Walmart. It's like contact paper essentially, and I just put it on the poster board. So sometimes I'll lay the shoes on there, or if I have a belt or bags, even though it's not really a flat lay, that's the only real flat lay type thing I do. But there are people that's what they do. They set up a pretty space and they do flat lays, and they incorporate different items in there to try to sell other pieces they might have in their closet. They essentially make an outfit out of it. I think that's great. I think certain platforms do better with that kind of stuff. I just think it depends on what's most important to you. Is it showing up in Google so you can have a broader audience, or is it to have a certain aesthetic on the platform? I don't know. I fall in the I want to be seen on Google.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Nicki? What do you think is most important to you? Do you think it's the aesthetic piece? Because now you're in Depop, so that's a little different. Depop is a totally different world that I don't want to be involved in.
It is, but I've just been moving the items straight from Poshmark over to the Depop, and from what I've been researching, a lot of people say it's I know Vintage does well over there, even though I don't have anything vintage that I know of, but I do the graphic tees and I'm doing like denim. So that's where my Depop store is gonna be. Just graphic tees and denim. I got some swimsuits over there as well, but starting out, I would say that I went for aesthetic. Like, I went for the pretty, what I would think is pretty. And now I'm more of I want something, like you said, to show up on Google, to get it in front of, more people. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what I feel like I just need to revamp. Yeah, focus my time on, and just revamp this whole business plan, this business idea, because before I was just putting things up and just hope in hopes that it would just get sale for really anything, because I did have my full-time job to rely on, so it wasn't like a need to make so much money. But now that it is, I need to think that way and do those things.
Yeah, I think as time goes on too, Nicki, you'll learn that you're just going to start evolving as a reseller too. And it's so funny because in the beginning you don't notice it as much, but then like 6 months hits and then a year hits, and just you're constantly changing things, and you start to understand things better, and you start to realize that the stuff you see on social media and on YouTube don't necessarily apply to you 9 times out of 10, right? Like, some things will apply, and it's great for community and networking. However, you start to learn that you don't have to take all of this information in, and you don't have to apply every single thing that you see out there. It took me a long time, because you see people making so much money and they're talking about all these different brands, and it's, all this different stuff. Like you just said, bread and butter sells the best for you. So it's a waste of time for you to try focus. Not that it's a waste of time. I don't want to say that, but you could focus your energy on finding these brands that work best for you, that people will bundle 5 or 6 pieces. you know? So I think there's just so many different aspects to it, you know, that just go into it. Someone has okay, so Cynthia has a question. Daniela, where's the best place to learn about keywords? So there are different resources online. There are different places like HubSpot, who does marketing and SEO and all that kind of stuff. So they are a great resource. They have free articles and stuff. If you just type in search engine optimization, you're going to find a ton of articles and videos on it. YouTube has a ton of stuff. There's a wide variety of information on search engine optimization, and it can be very overwhelming. So you want to really focus on the bare necessities of what you need for reselling. I did create a video. It's on this channel as well, where I talk about SEO in terms of reselling. It's one of my, I think, first videos that I did, second video. I know Nicki really liked it. I tried to break it down in a very comprehensive way because I worked in marketing. So I did a lot of like the blog aspect of everything and making sure that the keywords were within the blog posts. And then I had tags as well. Like, I mean, I was like very well versed in it in the insurance world. So in reselling, it's a little different, and it's really on focusing on your title and making sure you have certain aspects of your title that will pop up in Google. So the brand, the style name, the color, the cut, I mean, all these different things. And then I also go into the description, what it's important to have in your description, whether it's on eBay, Poshmark, whatnot. I tend to talk about Poshmark more just because it's what I'm more comfortable with. I do sell on eBay and Mercari, but I'm not at all as comfortable than that I am on Poshmark. So I do have a video on that. I think it's like 40 minutes long, but I do provide some resources on that too. But if you just type in search engine optimization, you're going to find a ton of stuff. A ton. Margaret, I love PickTapGo. Lights on filter. Yeah. A lot of people use PickTapGo. I've never used it. You like it, Nicki?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one I use, but I rarely use it. But when I need to use it, like say for instance, if it's dark here and I may want to take some pictures, I will use it then. But a lot of times I don't really use it.
Oh, goodness gracious. There are so many comments here. All right. Let's go through the comments. Stop talking, Danielle, and focus on the comments. Here we go. Photo room for the white backgrounds, and then delete the logo in Snapseed. Oh, see? So the way you delete a logo would be, like I said, to use the healing option tool that is in there. So there's that. There's a better app for moving backgrounds. Photo Fuse does a great job. Works on both photo. Oh, good to know. Never heard of that. I am going to look that one up. Photo Fuse. All right, I'm going to write that down right now.
Me too.
Does anyone else use Photo Fuse? Is it free? Did she say if it's free? Alessandra, is it free? I don't know. Not that it matters. Photo Fuse. All right, I wrote that down. Yeah, everyone's agreeing. Good to know. Good to know. I use a coupon for my ring light. $94. Originally I paid $20. That's awesome, Tasha. That is fantastic. That is quite a deal. Oh, Lori is here. Hi, Lori. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming on. That's what shooting is. Everyone begins to evolve into the selling works for them. Yeah. So if you are newer and you are watching this and you're like, oh man, I aspire to be like both of these women. Aspire to be whatever it is that you need to be in your business. Like, you can look up to people and you can admire the things that other people are doing, but you really just focus on what works for you. Take all this information, break it down, see how it can apply to your business and how you can find resources out there and communities out there that can help you better yourself and learn. Just like in any profession, there's always professional development, right? As a reseller, you're constantly learning and you're constantly developing. I mean, I have professional development. I'm sure as a postal worker, there's professional development, involved as that as well, and job trainings and things that change and all that stuff. When you go back, Nicki, it's going to be really weird for you.
I already know. I'm just not even
prepared. There's a lot of things
for
changing. There's so many things changing. And then how's it going to function when you go back?
Right before I left, we were going back to the normal way. But before because they were doing weird stuff, but they're back doing it the correct way, I feel, this time. But I don't know for how long, So
Yeah,
That's that.
just like anything else that's federal or state, it's all politically driven in one way or another. Yeah. Oh, the flipping gals is here, and it's Marina. Hi, Marina. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you. If you guys have any questions about shipping, any questions about anything, really, Nicki and I will be more than happy to answer it as we go through all of these things that are in the chat right here. Did you know also if you have a paid subscription to Canva, there's a background removal? Yes, I did know that. So I do pay for the paid subscription to Canva. Yes. So they will remove backgrounds. They have all these different effects now. They have video and sound, and I started using Canva 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they had not even a quarter of what it was such a basic, simple thing. And now it is just come so far, and they have resumes that you can download and make into your own, and presentations. I mean, everything that you would want, it's there. And there's constantly designers bringing it on. Now, you don't have to pay for Canva. There is a completely free version. But if you want all the extra pizzazz that it can give you, you can pay. And it's very affordable. I don't remember how much it is. It's cheap. It's
$9. That's what I pay for it. I'm not
yeah,
sure if there's
very, very affordable. I love Canva. I highly, highly recommend it. Michelle used to use Photoshop until we discovered Photo Room. Yeah, Photo Room is great, which is like the cousin of Photoshop. My sister's a graphic designer, so all she uses is Photoshop and Adobe. And she just, when she sees the program, she's like, just use Photoshop. It's so much easier. And I'm like, no, it's easier for you, my friend. It is not easier for me. Could I do it? Yeah. Do I have time to focus on Photoshop? No. Not at all. Nicki, I have a question for you, actually. So now that I've been selling a Mercari, I don't use Pirate Ship. Should I be using Pirate Ship?
Yes.
Okay, explain to me why.
Yes. I feel because Pirate Ship gives you a discount on the heavier items. But the only catch to that is, and I don't know if Mercari tells you this in the small print, but once you go through Pirate Ship, it's not covered. Like if it get lost or missing or something
so the
like
Postal
that.
Service is not going to cover me if something gets lost. Or eBay or Mercari, I should say.
Mercari is not, because it's like off of Mercari onto. You'll probably have to go through Pirate Ship.
Right.
But
gotcha.
It's like discounted shipping. So something that that's on Mercari that weighs over a pound, they're pretty much probably gonna go through UPS. And I think UPS on there is $9.99 compared to if you could put it in that flat rate padded envelope that, I love that one. It's $7.75 through Pirate Ship right now.
Okay.
Because the rates are going up in October.
Right. I saw that.
So.
But the rates always go up. Let's throw that out there too. As a postal worker, you know this, the rates always go up. So it seems like a big shock to all of us, especially on Poshmark, because we're super spoiled, right? Like super spoiled that our box can be up to 5 pounds. We're paying $7.11. Please think about that for a second, everyone who complains about Poshmark shipping. $7.11 for a 5-pound box. How much does that typically go for, Nicki? If you just bring in a box that's 5 pounds.
Like $12 and something.
Right. So think about that.
Because I have it in there actually, but it's more than 7-Eleven.
Right. So not much to complain about when you think about it, because you could fill a box up yourself, and like eBay, for example, and you get a discount with eBay as well. But let's say you didn't understand any of that stuff. And you just went to the post office and you dropped a 5-pound box or a 12-pound box or a 20-pound box, which is very easy to do when you're selling different things. You're paying way more money, way more.
And even with the weight too, because on the Pirate Ship, I think it allows you to go up to 16 pounds for first class shipping, compared to if you go into the post office, I think it's 13 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a weight issue there too.
Interesting. So here's another question for you. So let's say I ship something on Mercari, because I don't really know Mercari. Oh, I need to take this comment. Sorry, I just left this comment up and just realized that. I'm new to Mercari. So let's say I ship something and I don't weigh it, because I know that it weighs, I don't know, 12 ounces, 10 ounces. Okay. But I used a heavier poly mailer, and I wrapped it up in extra stuff. So now, will Mercari or the Postal Service send that back to me because I didn't pay enough, or is Mercari going to charge me like eBay would do? Do you know?
It depends because I did that one time. I
Okay.
actually had something that I meant to put ship on my own, but I actually did first class shipping. And then I went to the post office thinking that I can just pay the difference, and that they're not allowing that now. So actually,
Okay.
you have to go back and upgrade the label or either
Mhm.
purchase it from the post office right then and there.
Mm.
So if you have some, if it does go through and it's caught on the opposite end, then
Mhm.
they may be charged a fee, a postage due fee.
Okay. So the person receiving it may be charged that fee. Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. There's so many like rules when it comes to shipping. And I think because I've been so spoiled being a predominant Poshmark seller, that now that I'm venturing into all these different platforms, I'm like, oh, I need to actually pay attention to my shipping. Like it's very important that I actually am weighing every single thing and not just weighing it when I don't know what it is. I can't keep saying, okay, yeah, no, this is first class. It's great. Like it's light enough. It'll be fine. I need to stop doing that. It's bad.
Yeah, yeah,
Bad
and
business.
mhm. And then it just depends on who you get at the front counter too,
Yeah.
because sometimes people, would allow it to go through, but
Yeah.
you have some people that's just really mean. Because like the other day,
Really mean.
I the other day the lady was like really mean to me, and well, she wasn't really mean, but she brought it to my attention like I couldn't ship my package because I was running out of ink. So I knew the ink was lighter on my shipping label. I
Mhm.
was on the way to the Walmart to get new ink anyway, but she made a big deal about, oh, if it doesn't scan, then she's not gonna be able to accept it and all of those things. So I was just like, okay,
If
okay.
you can read the numbers, you can enter it in too. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Exactly.
That
I
would be my
enter
response.
number all the time. A lot of times when the packages get through the machine or whatever, they're ripped up sometimes as well, and it cuts off. So
Yeah. I feel like some postal workers just don't want to do it. And it's not because they're
exactly.
lazy, it's just that they deal with the public all day long and they're like, no, I'm not
Right.
doing it. Do it right or I'm not doing it. I think it's
Right.
a lot of that. And I don't blame them. I'm sure they get a lot of characters. Did you ever work the front desks at the postal service or no? Yeah,
That's two separate things. Mm-mm.
I'm sure that's interesting to work the
But
front.
I have answered the phone as being an admin assistant, and I did not like that at all because a lot of times people are calling because their packages are lost.
It's always complaints. It is always complaints. It's never going to be anything. No one's going to call and say, thank you so much for the wonderful service. They're going to say, where is my package? It's been 3 weeks. And it
Right,
says,
exactly.
um,
Exactly.
oh, Marina, that's awesome. But your sister agreed with your Photoshop comment. Yeah, I all set. Just going to leave it at that. But if graphic design is your thing and you're comfortable with Photoshop, um, it allows you to do way more editing than you ever could do in any of these other apps. But these free apps have gotten really good and they offer so many different things. So, yep, love pirate ship. Apparently, I need to actually do pirate ship. Add it to my list of things, Nicki. Don't forget to take pictures showing the tracking the package. Sometimes they do adjustments. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know. $18 from depends where it goes. Yeah, it depends on where it's going and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like generally you're going to be paying close to double than what you would on Poshmark, just because Poshmark has that deal with the postal service. Which, depending what happens to the postal service, we also don't know what's going to happen with Poshmark. They might have to change their shipping contracts and stuff that they have with the postal service. There might be a change in that as well. I mean, it might not always stay the way that it is. So I think it's important to understand these different aspects of shipping. Let's see. It happens to me because sending a lot on Amazon, they send me adjustments all the time. They explain times postal service do scans with the machine and they always have mistakes. Yeah, I'm sure. I had an issue last week with a mail carrier who scanned my packages, but it wasn't the actual postal worker's fault. It was something to do with their system. Even though he scanned it and I saw him scan it, it didn't show up as tracking for 3 days. Is that common, Nicki? Can that happen?
Oh, I never heard of it happen for 3 days, but once I pick up a package, I always hit the prepay acceptance and I scan it because it doesn't take nothing but a second to do.
Yeah,
But a lot of time it doesn't update till hours later. The
it's weird.
reason for that I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the post office system. Maybe they're just behind, and I feel like they are behind on a whole
Yeah.
lot of things. So I just
Yeah.
think it's maybe the system that they use.
Yeah, I agree. Because a lot of times I don't think a lot of it is the postal worker itself. I think it's just the systems that the postal service is using. Just like state, it's all old, antiquated
Right.
equipment that we're using. So I want to throw that out there. If you work for a federal branch or a state branch, everything you use is about 20 years old, and it stays that way until it completely breaks.
Exactly.
And that's just how it is. Mercari is also so awesome. They finally started getting programmers to amp things up for us resales. Yes. So this is why I've started selling on Mercari. And I am going to give a little shout out to Mercari. I have made 4 sales in the last 4 days of $100+ each item. So my higher end items are selling on Mercari, which I thought was like mind blowing because I just don't associate that with Mercari, right? I associate that with eBay and Poshmark. But I feel like they've been doing so much advertising and they have been really ramping up their platform. I mean, it's so easy to list on there. Everything, the brand pops up. It's just, I feel like it's very streamlined. And I don't know, I enjoy listing on there. I find that it doesn't take me very long to do. And I feel like there's more people on the app. I feel like with all the advertising and work that they're doing, people like it. And you can sell all different things on there. So I'm
You this, Daniela. Sorry to cut you off. Let me
No.
ask you this.
Yeah.
You know how the price pops up
Yeah.
on
I don't
Mercari?
follow that.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
I don't just like so Tradesy does the same thing. I do not follow any of the prices that are on there. Sometimes it helps me kind of gauge what those items have been selling for on the platform, but I don't think they're accurate because it's an average measure of all different sellers doing it. And I think Poshmark is probably going to come out with something similar, or I've seen that something similar is gonna be an update on Poshmark as well. I just do my own thing. But if it works for you,
I just thought it was like a little tool because sometimes I was gonna price it lower and then I see that pops up and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go with that price.
So there's that aspect of it too, where you might undervalue the item, but the application itself is valuing it much higher. So in those instances, yeah, I'd say go with what they're saying because obviously it knows. But a lot of times the things that I'm pricing, it's telling me to price it $30 or $40 less, and I'm like, no, I'm going to price it higher and allow for a little bit of room. Wendy said I use pirate ship to mail a dress I made, and I always buy a label for an ounce or two more than what the package is, and I get a notification I got $1 refund in my account. I've gotten that too from eBay. I get $1.11 always returned back to me. I'm like, okay, well, it's better than being charged $1.11. So there's that. I've never had a customer have to pay for anything, which means I guess I'm doing a good job.
Right. I haven't either, just not yet.
Oh yeah. I think it's a fluke, to be completely honest with you. I just happened to find the right buyer on Mercari. That's what I think it is. But I also did a lot of TJ Maxx retail arbitrage like a month or two ago, and those are the items that sold on Mercari. So the average sale price was higher on that stuff, and it's stuff they don't normally source or find, for that matter. I will share a story. I found a pair of leggings. So if you don't know this legging brand, you should write it down and look for it. It's called Alphalete. I'll type it in the comments. Alphalete. And they are, they start off as an Instagram brand. So for those who don't know, I was a competitive powerlifter for like 5-6 years. And when I was in the powerlifting world, they were more associated with the bodybuilders that were competing, but they were an up and coming brand. Over the years, they have now developed into being a very desirable brand. Well, they have leggings that are retired, similar to Lululemon, that people search for them and they will pay money for them. They'll pay $100, $200. Yes. To find them is obviously difficult, just like it's difficult to find a unicorn Lululemon piece. But I happened to find a unicorn piece at a thrift store for $4.99 on Friday of last week. And I just got around to listing it last night. I didn't realize that it was a rare piece. because I don't really know all the colors and all that kind of stuff. I don't wear that brand. So I listed it on Mercari first. And someone actually reached out to me and sent me a message, which I thought was really nice. And she was a reseller. And she sent me a message. She said, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. This is a rare piece. It's called Guards Red, and you should list this a lot higher. So I said, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, first of all, the fact that she even did that was great, because I had it listed, I think, at $54. And she said, you need to list this a lot higher. It's a rare piece. People really want it. So I thanked her. I mean, she could have easily bought it off of me and then sold it herself, but she didn't. She was very kind. And I looked it up, Guards Red, and I looked at all the solds, and I was like, oh my, I totally undervalued this item. It was selling for 100, 150, 90, like really, really double what I would have sold it for. So I listed it on Mercari and Poshmark at the same time. I listed it for $98, which was a little less than the most recent solds, but a little more than some others. It was like right in the middle. Within 3 minutes of me listing it, it sold on Poshmark for full asking. And then I got about 18 messages from people saying, do you have any more Alphalete leggings? Because I want them. And I'm looking for whatever kind. I'm like, I don't. But if I come across them, like I wrote down their handles so that if I do come across it, which is very rare, but I've only come across it twice. If I do come across it, I'm definitely going to reach out to them and just kind of let them know. Another tip, I don't know if you do this, Nicki. Do you ever search in Poshmark for the in search of ISO that people put? Like, people create listings in Poshmark, or I'm sure they do in other platforms as well, that they put ISO and then they'll put whatever brand it is they're looking for, and then the image will be of the item that they're looking for. So ISO means in search of.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yep. So if you do that, let's say you find a brand, or you're interested in finding a brand, and you see a lot of a brand, and you want to know what people want of that item, people will create postings. They'll say they're in search of, I'll throw an easy one out there, American Eagle mom jean in light wash. And they'll have an image of it, and they'll say in search of for this size, blah, 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 right? They'll put the details in it. So you can go through all those listings, and you can find someone that's looking for something that you have, or maybe something similar to it. And you can message them and be like, hey, just want to let you know, I have these American Eagle jeans. They're in your size. Let me know if you're interested in them. So pro tip. I ended up doing that. Yeah, I ended up doing that for the Alphalete leggings, and I found tons of listings for people looking at it. So now I'm like on the hunt to try to find more, whether it's online sourcing or something. I'm definitely, and I want to share that with all of you guys, obviously, too. Not a lot of people talk about Alphalete leggings, but they can bring in some good money. Everyone talks about the common ones, right? Lululemon, Fabletics, all that kind of stuff. But I like to throw odd things in the mix that people don't really know about.
Wonderful. That's good.
Yeah. I think that's it. So does everyone have any questions or anything for Nicki? Do you want to learn anything else about Nicki? Nicki's a very interesting person. Nicki's great. Nicki has a great Instagram page that she's building too. So please make sure you go follow her on there. How you see it right here on the screen at Glow Girl Glow. She does a lot of lives. So you guys should definitely go and check her out. If you don't have social media, Nicki just needs to create a YouTube channel so that you guys can get to know Nicki that way. You should make a reseller budgeting YouTube channel. That's what you should do.
That's
put it on your list.
That's right.
Put it on that list of things that you need to do while your son is homeschooling right now.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it. But...
Yeah, because I think that's the great thing about YouTube is that we all do different things. And I have a podcast with Lori, and it's called Thrifters Villa for those of you who don't know. And we talk about everything: reselling, life, entrepreneurship, business, everything. We just talk about everything. And we have episodes on there called Coffee Talk, where I bring different guests on that have different backgrounds, some in reselling, some dabble in reselling, but they focus on other things. So I'm all about bringing different people in and people learning from others who do different things. And I think, Nicki, there's a whole market of resellers who would totally look into budgeting and understanding the aspect of budgeting, especially a lot of part-time resellers. Because I think we have a high population of part-time resellers because they need the extra income and they don't want to get the part-time job anymore. They want to be able to be their own boss when it comes to that because they already answer to a boss for their full-time job. So I think you should tap into that market.
On the list.
I mean, you already do lives to begin with. So now you can do lives on YouTube. Same concept.
Okay, well, y'all can do lives on YouTube, but it's just the video editing part
Yeah,
that
I know.
I guess I'm afraid.
You don't have
Yeah,
to
that's the
edit.
part.
You don't have to edit. So many people don't edit. You don't have to.
Just
All you need to do, you can create an intro in Canva. You can add music to it. You put it, now you have a MacBook. So it's very easy. Very easy. I'll teach you. Don't worry. I'll teach you how to do it. Cynthia has a question. Did you keep a system? So do you keep a system for your receipts?
not.
You don't keep a system for your receipts.
I didn't, but
Shame on you.
I recently started, but I'm just like, oh, it's at the end of the year, so I should have been doing that, but I haven't.
Yeah. It's hard. So I explained this, I think, on the podcast this past week. Maybe not. I don't know. I talked about it recently. Maybe it was on a live. I don't know where I talked about it. It's somewhere. I have an app on my phone. Oh, no, it was definitely on the podcast episode because we talked about different ways to organize your business. And everything blends together at this point. So I use an app called Expensify. It's free. You can download it on your app. You can use Quicken as well. Quicken, there's a paid option and there's a free option, but Expensify is free. You can log your miles in it. You can log your receipts in it. You can create spreadsheets for like each month and extract the data that way and create a CSV file. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but I like Expensify. I used it at my previous job before where I am now. And as soon as I leave a thrift store, I actually take a snapshot of the receipt itself. I log where it was from, the miles that I did, obviously, to and from, and then back home. And it's all in there. And then I just export all that out at the end of the month. I just do from like August 1st to August 30th, 31st, 30th, 30 days. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And I just group that together. And then I have spreadsheets of that. So that's how I do it. I do keep the physical receipts too, but I have the electronic copy as well. Sometimes I accidentally throw away receipts, but it doesn't freak me out because I know that I have the electronic copy. So I have it embedded in my system that I just do it as soon as I get in the car so that I don't forget. And I log my miles as soon as I get home, so I know how many miles I did too. So
that I'm not even taking advantage of.
Yes, wow. It's free. Expensify. Wendy, yes, I agree with Daniela. Go, Nicki. Yeah, see, you just need to do it. Just do it. Okay, so we're over an hour. So I'm sorry, Nicki. I want to be mindful of your time too, because and I haven't eaten yet, for that matter. So I need to go eat. So thank you so much, everyone who stuck around and who talked to us. I hope you learned something new from Nicki. I hope you found some inspiration in tonight's reseller hangout, where if you are homeschooling, there are people doing it. Nicki's doing it, and she's reselling, and she's an essential worker who may not be working right now, but she's still an essential worker and did it. So yeah, Nicki, do you have any parting words to tell all of our friends that are watching?
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Daniela, thanks for having me on. Right. You are amazing.
No, stop it. Stop it. I am a teacher by trade, and I like talking to people. I like learning from different people. I think it's important for everyone to learn from all different people who come from different backgrounds. And yeah, I just like to share because I think that's what we're all here for. And I'd rather give free information out to everyone. And plus it's entertaining for them to watch. So why not? So I think the reseller hangouts will be something that I'll continue to do. I'll throw in content here and there, but I think people really enjoy coming on and interacting with one another and interacting with whatever guest I have on. And I like doing it. So it's a little different. I know most YouTubers that are resellers put out hauls and what sold and all that kind of stuff. And who's to say I won't do that too, but it's not what interests me. What interests me is interacting with everyone and just giving information out. And then having people on like you who have different experiences and different backgrounds, and you're fairly new to reselling and you're doing so many different things that's helping you in your personal life and in your growth. So thank you, Nicki, so much for coming on. And I will see you guys next week. Next week, I have Leslie on, so that's very exciting. So I hope to see you guys next week for that. And yeah, until next time, bye.